If you've been wanting to increase your Teachers Pay Teachers store income and you have had the thought, maybe I just need more products, well, stick with me today because I'm going to break down exactly what you should do to 10 times your TPT store income without putting more products in your store. Hi, I'm Molly, and I'm a 5th grade teacher who helps teachers just like you start and grow your Teachers Pay Teacher store so you can take the summer off from teaching, go on that trip, or do whatever you want with your time because you'll be making more money. So a lot of times I'll get this message, how many products do I need to have in my store? Talked about that here, and I'm never going to tell you, oh, you have to have a certain amount of products because I don't believe it. It's all about the quality versus the quantity. So quality versus quantity all the way is always going to be the winner. But a lot of times we think that, oh, well, that person has 500 products in their store. Surely they're making a ton of money. But we're not really looking in depth into their store. And I wouldn't recommend that anyways, because you want to just be you and work on your store. The one thing I will tell you that you could work on this summer that would be the best thing you could do for your store is to just work on a product line that's going to sell, meaning you've done some market research, you've tested it out on Instagram, you know what your audience is looking for, and you're going to sit down and mind map out that entire product line and start making one product at a time. There's no specific number for a product line. So that might be your next question. You're thinking like, oh, how many products does she mean? It depends on what's going to complete that line for you. That's why you mind map it out ahead of time. And that's what we're doing the first night of the TPT Beginner Mastermind. We're starting on June 23rd. We'll mind map out a product line, and then we'll spend the rest of the summer working on that together. So you'll get lots of feedback, lots of hand holding, me auditing your products. We'll learn how to make something from start to finish before we move on to the next. And that's what I would really urge you to do, is work on that product line this summer so that you have it up and ready for back to school, which is when I would say a huge number of TPT sellers make the bulk of their money is during back to school time, because they're solving problems for teachers. They're ready to buy because they're in that back to school spirit. So you're focusing on that product line instead of thinking you have to have a bunch of products that don't really relate to each other. Maybe you've done that in the past and you need to clean up your store a little bit. I do audits for people's store routinely, so that's something you can set up with me on the side, and I can tell you what to change in your store. Next, this is like the next thing you can do to 10 times your TPT store income. And I tested this out last summer. I'm doing it again this summer. It works. So you take a product from your product line and you create a workshop from it. Maybe the product line is the workshop too. I know that might sound kind of tricky, and that's something that we do work on in the mastermind. But what I mean is you're taking one thing and you're turning it into a workshop. You're teaching teachers how to use that thing, and the product is just part of it that makes their lives easier. So I help people with the Daily 5. I didn't create the Daily 5, but that's something that I have changed a lot in my own classroom and made easier for myself. And then I sell how to do that inside of my TPT store. And I created a workshop for K through 2 teachers and 3 through 5 teachers. And by doing that workshop last summer, I sold one of the TPT products as an upsell, plus the workshop at a really affordable price. And I made in 2 hours time over $2,800. Just from that workshop. So you do the math on that, how many people bought the workshop. It was overwhelmingly one of the most fun experiences I've had, because I got to talk to teachers who were doing the exact same thing that I'm doing in the classroom, helping them solve a problem. And then throughout the process, if they wanted the TPT product to go along with it, they bought it as well. So it was an upsell. And I teach my mastermind members how to do this. It's one of the best ways you can scale your TPT store. When you hear people say scale a business, it just means growing it. And that's one way you can do that without adding a ton more products into your store. And when you create your own workshop, you're keeping all of that aside from the taxes. So it's not like TPT is taking a cut of your workshop, because you're selling it through your own website or just however you have it set up. So it's a great way to grow your email list as well. You can get people on the wait list for your workshop It grew my email list by, I think, 500 last spring just by promoting my workshop. And then when I was ready to sell, I had nurtured them, given them lots of great tips, been totally relatable because we're teaching the same things, and showing them how I solve problems in my classroom. So they were quickly able to buy the inexpensive workshop. I think I charged only $37 for it, which is a great price point for teachers. So be thinking about that. What product line could you work on this summer that eventually could turn into a workshop? And I'd love to be the person to help you with all of that inside of the mastermind. So save your seat on the wait list below. We're getting started here really soon. And the beginner mastermind is going to work on creating that product line. I do have an advanced mastermind, and that's where we work on the workshop. So you can continue to grow and stretch yourself to new heights in your TpT store. It's not just limited to what's inside of your store. All right, I hope to see you inside of the mastermind, so get on that wait list like I mentioned, and thanks so much for being here and watching my videos every single week. It's a true joy to be able to help other teachers and see that income pile up, because I know we work so hard and our teacher paycheck doesn't always reflect it, but you deserve to have the life that you want, and I'm cheering you on every step of the way. See you next week.